Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft Mesified server, and in this one we're going to be working on our base and I'm excited. I'm just in the mood today. I logged on and I was thinking, what are we going to do? So many things to do, and I've just got all of the ideas for this place right here today, which is fantastic because for some time I've been talking about it. Walking through here, I really need to crack on with this place and get it to a much more finished level, let's say. And as you can see over here, I've started to try and finalize the roof a little bit, and I've always felt like it needs a little bit of tidying up, and this right here looks pretty cool, right? Some spruce slabs holding up some acacia, kind of blends into the roof really well. And then on the sides here we got some sea lanterns as well. So we had some netherrack, which were like hangovers from where we've been building the clay roof, and I decided to swap them over. Now the texture itself doesn't really go too well. We could also try a redstone lamp, but then you need to power it, and I don't think there's anywhere to put a lever other than on the front of it, which would look pretty odd in my opinion. So it looks okay. I'll have a think about light sources. Maybe magma blocks would look alright there. But anyway, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking this kind of works, right? The roof can be big and open. We probably want a light source somewhere in the middle here to show you the shape of that. And then this needs to sort of start again. And I think the place it's going to do it will be right here. So we will have our 3 slabs, and that one's going to awkwardly drop down for me. And then it goes back. Or does it? Or does it come out? Oh, actually, yeah, it would come out, wouldn't it? Okay, this might not be quite what I thought it was going to be. So then it would go there, and we would have our acacia coming across. Now, acacia is the first thing that I tried. I've since been thinking that some dark oak wood might also look really good here. So that beam is going to go up to the center, which means that bit there is quite narrow. I had sort of pictured it in my mind actually going in the other direction, but that probably wouldn't work. So then we got this big open area here. That's actually the biggest bit. That's going to be the best place to put a light source, isn't it? And if we have this, we're sort of dividing it over. So that might not be the best way to take the roof here. But anyway, I'm going to play around with it again. We'll swap this out, try some dark oak, and I'll see how we're going to create something similar to that over here so we can transition through the different areas of this roof and tidy it all up. And when we get to this bit over here, we may just sort of cut this off because there's not much we can do here. This thing has taken up a large portion of the attic and it looks kind of ridiculous, to be fair. So, not as good with dark oak in my opinion. I think the contrast is good, but I've also noticed that contrast matches the grey down there. So we will stick with acacia, and we are going to try the magma cube. Let's grab this thing. I've got some magma cubes here. We need to plop it in and then put the light source in front of it, break it again so it absorbs the light value. And I can already say that doesn't look particularly good. I'm just not sure which one looks better. I mean, this one just looks more like a light source, doesn't it? It makes sense looking like it does. And another thing I want to do is get rid of these torches as well. We've also got some on the side here, which means we need another light source over there. I could probably get away with putting a redstone lamp here in the middle, and that would hopefully cover the floor here. So a few more tweaks here and there, but acacia is definitely what we're going with. I just put it up here to make some changes, and there's been an explosion. There was actually a creeper that spawned up here, and I'm slightly worried that I might not be able to fix my roof how it's supposed to be now. Wow, look at that, you know, you give it a tiny bit of dark space and those mobs start spawning straight away. Turns out there's actually a block behind the netherrack. I don't know if that's the same for all of them, but it would mean we could do this, and yes, we could do it the less expensive way, but now we've got that witch farm, don't think we have to really worry about things. The question then would be, do I like this texture more than that one? And the answer is definitely yes. I like it a lot more. So we will go around and see if we can change all of that. Also, that one right there kind of works in the middle, but I'm tempted to move it down to where the andesite is on those 2 positions. But it is all coming together very nicely. I had to move this all forward by 1, and this hanging down here looks pretty cool. It'll also mean that we'll have a sea lantern here that doesn't match the redstone lamps we're going to have everywhere else, but I don't really think that's a problem. Everything is coming together so smoothly at the moment. I think that actually probably needs to be a little bit lower down. So, yeah, everything's sort of tidied up with the lamps, all looking good. This comes down to a nice height. We're doing the same thing over there. And what I'll probably do is mold the roof a little bit here so it mimics this side, because where it meets the purple, a lot of stuff changes over there. Hi, I'm having trouble getting back up. And what we're going to do is put in some sort of false wall around here. and then that part will all be inaccessible. So there'll be another hanging bit down just over here, and yeah, it's all sort of coming together, but I love this. You see, I was looking at what was going on, and I figured we could mimic what's happening on the other side. We could put in some glass here to hide the redstone, and then you've got to walk through like this. So now I'm thinking, and I don't have a lot of this, that this hardened clay doesn't really fit in, but if we changed it to the same colour as the roof, then it would probably look pretty cool. But the main side that we need to see that from is the other side, and if it does look good, we can sort of carry it on down into that room. And I'm thinking what we'll put up the top here is some mementos and stuff like that. So let's get the bulk of this that is actually visible, and then have a look and see if it's any good down here. And another thing I've realised about this roof is it's all coming together so easy because the roof design looks cool from the inside as well, right? So it's all very easy to construct. Okay, there we go. That's all of our clay. So down here, yeah, that colour just fits in so well with what we got going on down here. Yes, that looks absolutely great. Really do like that. And these cats, where are these cats coming from, man? They just keep teleporting to me. Look, there's loads of them out there staring at me, plotting their plans to teleport inconveniently. Yeah, so we got this sort of like so, and also, because we've got some lamps up there, you can see the levers on these sides over here. So what I was thinking I might do is lay down some redstone and lead it to a power source which is a little bit more concealed over there. And then inside these cages on either side, I feel like there should be something, so maybe we fill in that with a platform and put a mob in there. And over on this side, we're going to show off our redstone. But the problem is, it sort of carves into the area we're trying to tidy up. So I'm going to have to redo that, and I think it'll actually be quite simple if I just sort of wire the delay off into this space and then bring it back over again so it can connect to the piston at the top. And I'll probably show you that when we're done with it. And now what I'm focusing on is the floor right here. What I want to do is remove these torches in the middle because they're pretty ugly, right? And I want to put a sort of trim around like this. So whatever we're going to have in these spaces, I'm not sure, but we will have some light sources here. And I think this is going to be where we keep a lot of our mementos for the season, little things we want to display in item frames and such. So that's what's going to happen here. So now the room up here is nice and bright, and the redstone over on this side ended up being able to fit it into this space, and I've sort of boxed it in a little bit, but I think if we just break a couple of these andesites, you'll see what's going on here. So it comes up, comes around this way, underneath there, and then goes all the way around to the other side. So it's just a delay circuit, and it's made the floor of this out of andesite, which I think looks really cool. So that's how I've done the other one over here. What I actually want to do though is plop a glowstone block on top of there so it matches what we've got on the other side, and that's just providing light for this room. So this one's using redstone. Doesn't mean we can't put a mob in there, but it's something we'll do probably in the other three. And yeah, everything's going to come together. Did I mention being able to see the levers earlier? Can't see them anymore, although if you stand in the right spot you can sort of see a redstone torch. I might move them over one block further, but from down here you can see them as well. It's no biggie really, it's just trying to hide some of the little inconveniences. And so going down to this end, I'm now just thinking that this is going to look a little bit silly because this is where our wall is going to be, but then our wall will brush right up against this over here as well. So maybe what we'll do is actually have this as the wall. I just don't know at the moment, but we will come back up here and finish that off later. I'll do all of that when we put some mementos in here, which we're going to do later in the episode because I feel like I just want to break up the flow a little bit, if you know what I mean. So this project so far has gone very smoothly, looking very good here, but now we're going to move on to something else for a bit. Heading down a log-themed tunnel with an axe in my hand, bones in my inventory. You know where I'm going, you know what I'm doing. It's time to visit the tree farm again, because I managed to break this thing last episode by accident. Wasn't really a big deal though, because we've got absolutely tons of logs from this thing, so no emergency. Basically, I ran the farm with this thing in the wrong mode, and it broke something. And Ilmango, once again being kind enough to take the time to look at the schematic that I sent him and tell me exactly what was wrong with the farm here. So we're going to fix it, but also he's thrown in an optional little change that you can do to go into oak mode. So this is acacia mode. I think we might end up with another switch here for oak, And what you have to do to do oak farming, you see that obsidian block right there. What you want to do is come out to your underneath that one and leave a block at that height, and then you can do oak in here. However, he's got a contraption where you can come down from up above with a slime block and push something into that position. So we will be rebuilding that while we're fixing this thing as well. And there's not too much more to mention other than that I've been busy getting ourselves tons of bone and bone meal, as you can see. Just filled up 1.5 chests right there, and we've got some more to do. So once we got this thing fixed, we're going to be firing it up again and getting ourselves even more logs. We are taking the mick with this farm. It is quite ridiculous. Okay, I believe that is the last block I need to place on this farm. There were a few wires missing down there from where a creeper had blown up. One of these pistons had been moved into a strange position over there. It doesn't make sense. Like, how can I explain it? If we got pistons pushing across in this direction, it would make sense if one ended up over that direction, right? Well, that's happened over there. It's gone backwards, yet there's no pistons that push that way. So, strange Minecraft funkiness once again. Anyway, up the top here, what we've done is added this little contraption, and just by looking at it, I think it should be fairly obvious. Like, one piston gets pushed down, then a wire reaches another one, that one goes down, and then probably another wire reaches another one. So it can go down a few blocks at a time, and then it can come all the way back up with some timing. So this comes from over here. What we're walking on is what's been added, and then there is this little redstone tower of torches to send the signal up, and then there is those repeaters over there. So in order to finish this thing, and I'm not going to run it immediately, I am going to double check everything. We put a couple of blocks there because that's how I got into the area. Then over here we've got this block, and we're going to power it with this, and we've moved the lamp down so that, you know, if the lever's on the lamp and another lamp is next to it, it's going to power both of them so we can see which one is on. And then with this item frame we can see which one is which as well. So now we got an oak farm mode, and do you know what, actually I think we can give this a whirl because it's independent from the rest of the farm. And there you go, it lowered down by 2 blocks. Can I reach it from here? I think I possibly can. 1, 2, no? Looked like it only, wait, I think it did only move up once. I'll have to go double check it. And it also activated some blocks there. That's slightly worrying. Okay. I missed a singular repeater. That's all it takes. One little mistake and you're done for. Can I get down this way? I can. That's great. That's a lot faster. Okay, so we're going to stand here. We're going to press that, turn around and look. And there you go. It comes down a lot further. However, it pulled a block out with it. The one that the repeater was on, and I believe that's because it hadn't gone back up correctly as well. Wow. I'm making a hash of this. Okay, got it sorted out now. Turns out one of those blocks should have been obsidian. You can see it there on the side. So it comes down a few blocks, and then this goes back up. Now those blocks extending on the side is intentional, so I guess that must help with reducing the size of the oak trees, I think. But there you go. Anyway, that's done. Let's start using this thing again then. So, just striking up a deal with Impulse here for some bone meal. I came over here and pinched quite a bit to get the farm running today. Glad I managed to catch him. So what we'll be doing is just dropping him off a chest full of logs every so often for all of the bone meal that we're going to pinch. Looks like he's got some over here as well. And then he's got his public storage where you're welcome to take whatever you want from up here. He's also got a donation chest as well. But what we're going to do is take some bones from here, and then we're going to bring him back a whole bunch of logs later on. But at the moment what I'm trying to do is get a reasonable supply of each log. And I've been using the farm a heck of a lot, and I've actually ran out of all of that bone meal that we had used so far. So got to head over there again, keep farming, and then bring Impulse back some logs as well. Alright, so the aim over here was to stock up our supplies, and we have certainly done that. So check out all of the jungle woods that we've got over here. 2 and that many chests right there. Then we've got our supply of birch, and we've got our supply of oak, and you can see all of this. Oh, how did you get in there? All of this bone meal has been put to good use, which is just fantastic. So anyway, what we're going to do now is take some of these logs over to Impulse and, yeah, drop him off a gift for all of the bone meal. But I finished using it for day. We've got a tiny amount of bone meal left, and the fixes have worked wonderfully. I now know how to operate this farm properly, and I don't think we're going to have an issue with it again, which is all good. Alright, so I've dropped off Impulse 9 stacks of each of the logs. that we can harvest with the tree farm. That is a crazy amount of wood. Look, I'm going to open these up and show you them all. It is such a crazy farm, and we can just give that away as a way of saying thank you for the bone meal. Of course, we can come back here in the future and get some more as well, so this is all good. Look, 3 more bones. We'll leave those there for now, though. Anyway, let's go back through to the Nether Hub. There's actually some interesting business going on in here. I say business, it's more like shenanigans. Let's go through the portal. I've been noticing this as I've been travelling back and forth. First of all, there's this nice red block in your way. Don't know what that's about. But over here, this is what I'm worried about. We've set up a little bit of advertising, some pretty advertising, and then along comes these things right here, whatever this is. Hermiton Herald, 1 diamond, 1 copy. Subscription, 5 diamonds if you name. Well, I've already got a subscription, but I haven't had my copy delivered yet. But look at this. Dirty organisation bribes corrupt sheriff. Read about it. I don't know what that is about. There is all sorts of lies written up here. Logfellas' massive corruption headline in Hermitcraft Herald. The only corruption in the Logfellas is the price of those logs. They are falling down so quick, something is crazy. A Logfella bribe Sheriff False. Oh, when did this happen? Do you know what? I watched a video with Cubfan and Zombie Cleo in, and there was a so-called air quotes donation for a story in the paper. I can't help but feel this is what it is. Corrupt sheriff backs gangsters headline. Oh, this is disgusting. We're going to have to change some of these. Hermitcraft Herald takes donation to print unfounded story. Want your version of the truth? Donate today. And my personal favourite, Hermitcraft Herald, your diamonds makes our headlines. Since I have a subscription, I'm going to take one of these and read it in my own time. But I do just want to say, to those of you that get passionate about the things that happen on this server, do remember, it's just a little bit of fun. We are, of course, all friends. Don't take the things that happen on here too seriously. Just remember that. So one of the things I do want to do is keep my copies of the Herald up the top here, and on the left you will see a chest. Now this is open at the moment. I do mean to close that, which means you can't look in the chest, but those are our winnings from Cub's Quest, and I want to hold on to these because I can get Dragon's Breath myself, and you know, nothing terribly rare, but I like the gesture, and I like this little guy right here as well. So we've got an armor stand in there. I hope that we can get another one to go on the opposite side at some point. What we'd put on the armor stand, I don't know as of yet. But anyway, walking into this room, we are going to have our mementos going down the middle here, and I'm not too sure what to do. So we've got some of the horse armor that we've discovered, all 3 types. Over on this side, we're going to have all 3 issues of the Herald, and I might just want to rename these things so that when you put your mouse over them, you know, you aim your crosshairs at them, you'll actually see what it is. Also, notice how that one was called the Hermiton instead of Herald, which is interesting. And then I've been struggling to figure out what else is going to go in this little area here. We'll put something over on that side eventually. This one has been filled up with He Who Shall Not Be Named, killed in episode 513. If you don't know who this chap is, you need to go back and watch episodes 350, 450 and 513. But we will not mention his name. It's Evil X, I'm joking around. Anyway, one of the things we're going to work on next, by the way, is the back wall. So I will have that done when we come back in a moment. But I do just want to like brainstorm with you guys. If you have any suggestions, leave a comment down below, because I'm starting to struggle for ideas. I mean, I could display stuff like the little coupons and advertising things that people have left me, like the SSS card that we discovered. Actually, as I say it out loud, all of a sudden putting these things into item frames seems a little bit more appealing. I was going to say that that wouldn't look too interesting, but it doesn't always have to be something fancy, right? It's things that have happened on the server that are important here. And we've also got somewhere in here that fanfiction book by Joe. This looks really cool, but I gotta say, it is kind of empty, even though most of this side here is filled up. I think once we've got more mementos as time goes by, we will probably like push them back a little bit and space them out a bit further, and there'll be more things to squeeze in here. But yes, I put things in item frames with relevant blocks behind them, this one being colour, because I don't want to put my diamond blocks up here. We've got plans for those. And this is the fan fiction that Joe wrote, and then we've got our Hermitcraft Herald's been renaming stuff, and yeah, it's looking pretty cool. Over here, though, I've got a chest for the record collection. These are the only 2 that I've got so far, and I do want to get all of them this season and do those by my own means. And what we'll probably end up doing is making a record collection room, and then we've got like more mementos, which I might put into some item frames at some point. But I did say that I'd get this back wall done, and I haven't, and that is literally literally the last thing to do. Although what I have done, if we look up there, and there we are, I've extended the roof out as if this was a normal room, because all of this is going to be off display. There's also like an opening there that really needs sorting out. I never got around to finalising how that was going to look. So anyway, from the inside, when you look up, all of that bit there looks completely normal. So the plan was to block all of this in, and now I'm thinking, actually, why don't we build it up a little bit? Because if we put it directly against the back here, it's going to connect to the glass, then it's going to mess this bit up, and actually we can make a little bit of a walk around here. So what I've been doing is extending the dark oak upwards, and I've just gone on a little trip to pick up some materials. So these are going to go right into the roof, as you can see, and we got some dark prismarine to fill in the gaps as well. And then we got this old deal going on, and you know what? Old habits. I've gone and picked up some sea lanterns. Of course, I should have got the lamps and also a redstone block to put behind them. So yeah, this is how we'll do this. We'll just like lead it up to the top like that, going all the way around. It means this area will actually be closed off. However, we do have some redstone on the side over here, so things are going to get a little bit different in this area, and we'll probably connect this up over there as well. There's a lot that we can do, and then it means actually we get to use this space again, so we can have even more mementos in this area over here. And I've also patched up this corner. By the way, there is that up there as well, the spruce that I'm pointing at. Not really sure if I like that. I just did the same thing on the other and wondered if perhaps I should have just filled it in with the clay. Maybe that would have made more sense. It would have been flat, but it would have looked cool. Anyway, walking back and forth through here, I love it. I really do feel like, you know, we found something amazing here, and it's just so simple. It just needed a few other materials to complement it, and a little bit of lighting, and it feels really finished. So going into this area, you'll see there's probably a few tiny little bits here and there that need tweaking, and I'm probably just going to finish off all of this in a live stream now, because there's lots of little bits around here that look a little bit odd, like gaps like that with the edge of that appearing, and I'm not too sure what to do with this. I was thinking of bringing it inwards like that into the room, like another pillar behind it, but I think it might look better coming out over to this roof. I just don't know. There's lots of little decisions to be made, and I figured we'll probably do that on a live stream sometime. So anyway, we're going to fill in the gap here, and of course I'm one slab short. Why would I not be? That's all I've got. Ah, typical. So I think we're done with the attic for now, and a couple of times I might have referred to it as the roof. The roof is the top side of the attic, right? And also those spruce slabs been replaced. Yeah, that's about 10 times better, isn't it? Now, a while ago, we messed around with putting redstone on the roof of this thing, which I really didn't like. And I do believe that the brown wall looks a lot better. And it's actually this side that has the brown wall as well. So this is to stop mobs from spawning. And before you say it, you could put string up here. String doesn't stop mobs from spawning. In fact, I'm going to show that to you in a moment. The redstone over here looks ugly. It was a bad idea. The brown we actually get away with. It's quite similar, but from most of the time you will see this from down below, and that's where you catch the sides of the block, so it sort of preserves its actual colour. So another thing I'd like to do is make up my mind about that and start covering the entire thing in with brown carpets. And of course, I'm trying to record, and it's Dawn of the Dead again. Go away, guys. Go away. Okay, so this is a world with stone and string, which is kind of hard to see, but I middle clicked and it covers the entire floor. And if we just fly around, you can see mobs are spawning everywhere. So a little bit of myth busting in the middle of this Hermitcraft episode. So I don't want to see those comments again, alright? Seriously, I've had so many comments about putting string down to stop mob spawning. It is ridiculous. You can clearly see here that they will indeed spawn on string. So remember this space? Does it look familiar? It's actually been a while since we've been down here. We built this staircase, I dug out a little area at the bottom, started growing some nether warts down here, and then I expanded it and haven't gotten around to building yet. What I want to do down here is create a sort of area that's quite open plan feeling, you know, so not having lots of walls to close off the different projects that will be going on down here. I want to do some nether wart farming, some potion brewing, and the first thing we're going to build is a sheep farm. And check this out, I've got some brown sheep already, and it says fear the saints. Yep, I forgot about that. But my idea is to build a sheep farm that we can AFK with, because we've already done like a regular type of sheep farm. I want something that I can go to my base, sit down, and leave the computer running so that it can just get me loads and loads of wool. And then these ones will be, you know, whatever colour we need. We're going to dye them for the project in hand. They just happen to be brown from the last time I worked on the roof, which is cool. These sheep are some real noisemakers. Oh, they are driving me nuts. And look at that. They ate all of the grass that used to be here. They are certainly hungry. Anyway, we're going to be putting them into this part of the farm. The farm is going to run down the side here, and it's going to be sort of like just a singular slice that gets repeated over and over again. So the rail is going to be on this bit here. The sheep will be right there, and all of the other grass will be able to spread directly to that one. So the more grass in the area, the higher chance of regrowing it has. So that means it regrows faster. So what we're going to do in terms of aesthetics is just continue this dark oak around the back there. We're going to have a roof at this height, actually no, that height, and it's going to be, I think, slabs across the back, and then every other block could be glowstone, something like that. In fact, it could probably be spaced out a little bit more, and I'm kind of low on glowstone at the moment. Really need to AFK over that witch farm. I've not been doing enough of that. So that's going to come out like so. We need to place torches or light sources in these bits here as well, and down the bottom also. Don't know if you could hear that. There was a noisy bike outside. It is summer, so I got the window open to keep me cool in the room. And anyway, then this comes across the front here. We've got the trapdoors. Do you know what? We could also put trapdoors on this bit as well, which hides the dirt. I actually think that looks really cool. Yeah, I like that. We'll have the trapdoors going across like that. We can stand underneath here, and we can have our minecart going back and forth as well. So at this end, it's just going to bob up onto this thing, and at the other end we're going to have a little dispenser system for shears. There we go, looking good. Should be a pretty straightforward process for the AFKing, just facing that way, using the shears, but a little bit of redstoning going on over here, and a side product of that is the trapdoor at the top, as you saw. Now you may notice another problem, which is that we don't get the item in here, which happens to be redstone, for testing until the minecart has gone away. And do you know why that is? Is because this thing stays powered, and it's when it becomes unpowered that this happens right here. So I was thinking what we need is a monostable circuit, but actually I think you just need this wire to go directly into this bit. So as soon as it turns on, it powers the bit back here. And I believe by powering this bottom one, we would also power the one above it as well. So, aha, there's a problem. I'll wire this up properly. We'll probably have a half slab, but now what we should see, there you go. And interestingly enough, that means that the hopper here is locked, which is something we sort of don't want. We want it to pick it up if the player doesn't. So there's another problem that we got to solve. My wiring may have been okay actually. You see, this thing didn't dispense until after the minecart had left, and I think it's actually this block that's locking the hopper to the left of it. I found a bug that might actually be useful. When you place down a detector rail like that, it connects with the other ones. If there is a minecart here though, and the minecart latches itself onto the detector rail, it doesn't connect like that. Look, now that thing is pointing the other direction. That might be extremely useful, but I don't know when it would be useful. It's one of those things you probably want to remember. So anyway, now that block is going to be over there. I think we can actually test it. Although I destroyed some of the redstone down the back here. Okay, that's the way. You saw the hopper picked it up. What we want to do is get in the minecart and see if we will pick it up. So we've got 44 in our inventory, and no, we don't get there quick enough. This should be really simple, but it's not. Ugh. So even with a delay down here, I can't get the timing right. And now I'm thinking you probably need to lock this thing for a short moment as well. But then if you lock it for too long, that item is going to come out and land over here. The idea is that your inventory's full up, you've got shears, and when the shears break, there is a system to replenish them over here. I haven't actually explained that yet, have I? I sort of just jumped into this and started doing all of the redstone. It works now, it works now. Check this out. Bam, there we go, we pick it up. And the trick here was just to make it one block further back so we could have two hoppers here. And I was about to say I could have just put the hopper there, but no, the reason why is so when this thing dispenses, it doesn't go off to either side. Like the block here is to stop it from dispensing and it dropping down into this space at the bottom. Right, so we got their attention. Now what we're going to do is move our wheat to the offhand so we can operate an ender pearl. I made a little path to the top for them there. And then if I go up here, they should follow me over and around. And in you go, that's the way. You got the right idea. I think he needs someone to follow up behind him to nudge him in. Yeah, we got loads of them up here, and now they're being a little bit stubborn, it seems. But a fair amount of them already in the farm. That's the way, that's the way. Keep on going, keep on going. I think we've got like 1 or 2 left now. Yep, just a handful. There we go. Do you know what? I may need to get their numbers up at some point, and if I do, I can open the trapdoors like that and then breed them, and the babies will stay inside as well. So that's really cool. I never planned that. That worked out pretty well, and there's clearly room for more of them in here. However, they like to get all bunched up, and that is not a good sight. That is definitely not a good sight. I mean, that thing can shoot it all the way up there with 2 hoppers. That is slightly worrying, and something I will have to consider. I hope I'm able to collect all of the wool doing it like this. That is something that I sort of hadn't thought about too much. Where does the wool land? Some of it might land on the back. Seems like there's more testing to be done here. But so far it's looking pretty good. We're hitting up all of these sheep. There are improvements to be made here. I've already got ideas on how to fix some potential problems. But if you want to leave any feedback in the comments, you're always welcome to do so. And if you've enjoyed this episode, leave a like as always. Thank you so much for your support. And I will see you in the next one. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.